One thing that I think keeps people stuck in their yoga routine and even from progressing into that mind body connection with their yoga is meditation. And every time that I say it, I can hear you saying it in your head right now. I can't meditate. I've tried meditating, it doesn't work for me. So there's something in the Yoga Sutras that's kind of interesting, that there's a step that leads up to meditation, and it is trying to meditate. You have to get yourself used to quieting the senses and really being able to tune into yourself. That Patanjali refers to the senses as a mirror, that when you turn them outward and you focus on everything outward and around you, you take all of that in. Where if you turn those mirrors inward, they reflect the inner light that's inside of you. And the only way to do that is to quiet those senses, stop paying so much attention to the outside, and really look within. And that is where your breath work and concentration on meditation really start to pay off over time. That's the other part nobody's really talking about. This takes time. Some sources discuss how in certain meditation practices, it can take years to master, and this is practicing daily. So if you think about how much time you're really applying towards practice, and especially the practice of meditation, how much time and effort have you really put in, and what are the outcomes that you're hoping to see in that short amount of time? Because it may just be that you need a little more practice. Here's a few tips if you're starting a meditation practice. I personally like to have a meditation ready to go on my phone, but I don't start with just the meditation. So what that looks like is I put things into small playlists on my phone, the first track being usually 5 to 8 minutes, and that's my fidget period. Those senses try and pull at you, and a part of that is as you're trying to find stillness, your brain is still on the move. And that's why after a moment you'll notice you need to move a shoulder. You might have an itch on your knee that wasn't there before, out of nowhere. And that is just your brain trying to distract you, trying anything but to calm and find stillness. Because that's not your default. You're used to going 100 miles an hour, right? And this is your time to move. Any little adjustment that you can make to make yourself just a little bit more comfortable leading into this meditation, which then is my track number 2. So you've settled into your posture, relaxed into gravity, and now you can just enjoy the meditation. And also, starting with a meditation that is a good duration for you. If you can't sit still for 20 minutes, don't do a 20-minute meditation starting out. And then after the meditation, I have a short song that helps me to tune back into my surroundings, as well as take kind of a mental note of how I'm feeling coming out of that particular meditation. And some days I don't get as much out of it as others. Some days I sit and my head still races. But that's just the nature of practice. That's why we practice. It helps to have a few positions that you're comfortable meditating in. So depending on the day, the way that your body feels, and of course the meditation that you're practicing, you can always be in a good supported position. So if you are sitting cross-legged on the floor, it helps to have the hips raised, especially if your hips are tight and don't have much of that external rotation, which also brings my hips into an optimal position to support my low back. Because in an upright posture, your hips should be supporting your spine, the position of your shoulders, and the shoulders helping with the position of your head. And bringing all of that into alignment helps you to stay elevated, keeps your breath open so your rib cage can move, and really allows you to settle into that meditation seat. I also have a kneeling chair that I love for when my back and my hips are a little bit tighter, And especially if I'm doing some deeper breathing exercises where I'm breathing deep into my lower abdomen, just because it opens the hips up just a little bit more. There are also a few meditations that I do lying down, and that helps to have a pillow under my neck, either a pillow or rolling a blanket to create a little bit of a cervical roll for support, as well as a cushion or even a rolled up exercise mat underneath my knees. And that just helps to better align the pelvis, which aligns the spine, shoulders, head, and neck. So keep those things in mind as you come into a meditation practice. Find stillness, finding your peace, and even if your practice consists of sitting still, just practicing sitting still, it's a good place to start. Work on calming your mind later. Bring the body into it first and keep with your breath. The more that you focus on and watch your breath, the easier it is to tune everything else out.